Hi everyone, welcome to the third video of our Prevent Child Sexual Abuse series. Today we'll be discussing how to prevent technology-facilitated abuse, which I know is a huge concern for parents and caregivers considering the amount of time children spend using phones and computers these days. We'll start the video by discussing 3 common practices that adults turn to protect children online: monitoring, filtering, and restricting access to technology. These practices have their pros and cons, and I will explain them. I will talk about how online abuse happens, and then we will learn the most effective and sustainable prevention practice to protect children online. So let's first address monitoring, filtering, and restricting access. You may be monitoring what your child is doing online. And this could be helpful if you find that they have stumbled upon a site or an app that they don't understand is not safe for them. But the older children get and the more time they spend using their phone or the computer, the harder it is for you to monitor every single thing that they're doing or seeing online. And I've talked to a lot of children and teens about this issue, and if they feel like you are monitoring them to try to catch them in the act of doing something wrong, it does make them more likely to start erasing histories, to bypass your monitoring. So you may think that you're seeing what they're doing, but you're not. And they have the skills to be able to do that. So keep that in mind when it comes to monitoring. Okay, let's talk about filtering. So you may be blocking sites, apps, social media accounts that you think would be dangerous for your child. And this can be helpful. In fact, I'm going to list a couple of organizations below that can help you with this. However, different apps and different technology is coming out daily, which makes it very difficult for adults to keep up with what is safe and what is not. Okay, let's talk about restricting access. So you may say, my child doesn't have a phone and they're not allowed access to the computer or other devices that interact with other people. And I would say that that's a very appropriate prevention practice, especially for young children. But keep in mind that just because they don't have a phone doesn't mean that friend at school doesn't have a phone, or neighbor down the street doesn't have a gaming system that interacts with other people, or older sibling or cousin doesn't have a device that interacts with other people. Today, access to technology for children is everywhere. So if you are restricting access, your child still needs to understand the dangers online and why you're not allowing them access, so that when they do get access, they'll know how to be safe. So monitoring, filtering, restricting access, these practices can all help prevent abuse, but please don't let them give you this false sense of security. They each have serious limitations. Which leads me to the most effective and sustainable practice to prevent technology-facilitated abuse. This practice may sound basic, but I'm going to explain how online abuse works and how this practice works to protect children. The practice is: have ongoing, frequent conversations with children about their online behavior. So I had the opportunity to work with the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force in my state, and I was able to learn the patterns offenders use to exploit children online. And they start by asking them very common questions. What music do you like? What sports do you like? What games do you like to play? And they do this to build a relationship. And once they have that relationship, it evolves to maybe them sending the child gifts or asking the child for them to send pictures of themselves. And then it moves to having conversations over the phone or texting over the phone. Then the relationship evolves to trying to meet the child in person, which, as you know, is very dangerous. So knowing this, here's a couple of questions that will help you facilitate having these ongoing, frequent conversations with your child.
Who are your friends online? Do you talk or text with anyone who you met online? Has anyone asked you to send them pictures of yourself? Have you seen inappropriate pictures of private parts online? Has anyone ever made you feel uncomfortable online?
A wonderful thing to do here is to ask your child to teach you how to play a game, teach you how to use a social media site, teach you how to use an application. I mean, you know, there's nothing more empowering for a child than to teach an adult something that they don't know. And while they're teaching you, you can have these conversations with them about the internet not being private, and that there are people on the internet that are not safe, and that if at any time they ever feel uncomfortable, they can come to you and talk to you. So again, this is not a one-time sit-down conversation about dangerous people online. We're playing the long game. So this is about daily open dialogue about safe online behaviors. And this practice is going to build those strong, long-lasting safeguards around your child against technology-facilitated abuse. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this with your friends and family and check out the entire series. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and have a great day.
Please watch the other videos in this series. They're all so important in preventing child sexual abuse.